Hello, and welcome to A Crosstalk, a series hosted by Renew America Together, focused on fostering bipartisan dialogue, encouraging civil leadership, and healing the political divisions of our current American society. Renew America Together is a 501c3 established to minimize the effects of divisive rhetoric through bipartisan dialogue and education. My name is Lincoln Zaleski. I'm a disinformation specialist here at Renew America Together and the host of A Crosstalk. This is the third episode in our series. I'm joined today by Emma Sawyer, a recent college graduate and program specialist here at Renew America Together. An integral part of Renew America Together's latest program, the Civility Leadership Institute, Emma will be talking to us today about civic engagement and the importance of bipartisan education. Emma, welcome to the show. While you and I both work for Renew America Together, because of pandemic restrictions, you and I, we haven't formally met yet. So would you mind sharing with everyone kind of where your interest in bipartisan work and civil leadership came from, and what brings you to Renew America Together to work with General Clark and the rest of the group?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's also formally nice to meet you over Zoom. So kind of what brought me into, civic engagement and all the things like that. I was privileged enough to have an internship at the Clinton Foundation in Little Rock 2 summers ago, and we got to work with General Clark's office and a lot of different things, and I saw a lot of, back and forth between certain things. So I was like, if we work together, things would get done a lot better and it'd be a lot more efficient for a lot more people. And it just kind of sparked this, and I've gotten the opportunity now to come to Renew America Together and work on the Civility Leadership Institute. And so it's kind of been this culmination of all the things that have kind of piqued my interest from several summers ago.
Well, that's great that you've had this interest for as long as you have. Some would say that civil leadership is the backbone of American exceptionalism and liberal democracy and all that we stand for as a country. Without strong moral leaders, we cease to function as the beacon of hope or the city on a hill that historically has kind of been our mantra. And based on that, what steps do you personally believe should be taken to ensure that civil leadership is maintained in America?
Yeah, absolutely. My mom is a teacher, and I think education is the pillar of all of that. And you can't have good conversations or good understanding and comprehension skills to have tough conversations without that education background. And I think it helps what sees like the commonality between every person. We have more in common with each other than we do differences. And I think every American, regardless of what role they serve, having a good education and having, the background to be able to have tough conversations and see, the things that you do have in common with people you might disagree with is the best way to get to that civil leadership that we really, really need.
And education doesn't necessarily mean having a degree or having
Right, absolutely.
it can be any sort of training or any sort of formalized background that
Yeah.
you may have. I know plenty of journalists, plenty of people who are very media literate, people who good at identifying disinformation or good at doing research who never had a degree, never went to college in general. So education takes plenty of different forms, and I think it's certainly key in the whole process of renewing America's vision. And I think a part of what the Civility Leadership Institute is doing is an important part of education. So if you could kind of speak to what is the Civility Leadership Institute and how does it help to strengthen American civil leadership today?
Yeah, absolutely. So the program is really just meant to bring together individuals that might not traditionally see eye to eye and empower them to really work with tools that we're giving them to better communicate with those that they influence and those that influence them. And so really just coming together and hearing from different people in different backgrounds. We have really cool panelists and different speakers that are not always going to agree. They're in different sides of the aisle, but they share a common interest in so many things like, the environment, police brutality and all sorts of different things. There's not just this black and white, there's that gray area. And that's what we're looking for in kind of communicating how to get through effectively with that. And so there are a lot of cool different things that we're planning on doing. So stay tuned, looking for all sorts of fun stuff coming out about that.
Well, that's fantastic. We at Renew America Together love us some gray area. We also love the or some people call it purple area, the part in
Yeah.
between the red and the blue. Um, and those, uh, is there one speaker in particular that you're excited for, or just kind of all of them all across the board?
I don't know if I can say yet, but there are a few that I'm really excited. So we'll just have to wait and see until they're announced. But they're really exciting. So
Exciting, yeah, keeping us in suspense. Sounds like exciting stuff. So Emma, what are the benefits that if someone were to apply and become a fellow, what are some of the benefits that these fellows would receive from CLI?
absolutely. So I know participants are going to receive 2 professional certifications in Vital Smarts, Crucial Communication, and Type Coach Influence Training, which are very cool. We've gotten to work very closely with some of the big people from those programs, and they are just absolutely phenomenal. I'm very excited for people to hear from them. You get a ton of networking opportunities from people all across the country. Like, we've gotten applicants almost from every state, and it's very, very cool to see how many people are influenced by this or impacted by this cause and wanting to learn more on how to be better. You get materials. We're going to be shipping out a learning box. We're not going to announce what's in it yet, but very cool branded items for New America Together themed. And then an opportunity to get to know General Clark and with check-ins after graduation. So after you go through our program, being able to speak with him and really just share about your progress and how you're using what you've learned during CLI in the real world and how you're seeing it how it's applicable.
That's very exciting. As someone who's spoken with General Clark many times, both prior to Renew America and after, um, he's definitely a good guy to get to know, and a very interesting guy to have conversations with. So that's very exciting. If you want to speak a little bit about the types of applicants and the types of people that should apply to this job, or not this job, this opportunity, who are you expecting to be a fellow?
Yeah, absolutely. So mayors, state reps, college students, really anyone that wants to. We're not looking to, just get to one community. We're trying to get through multiple communities. And so if you know of someone or yourself that, is looking for that civic engagement and that education behind that and that formal training that you can receive, this is the opportunity. Absolutely. Really anyone, like, anybody can do it. It's going to be a great opportunity for anyone.
Well, that's very exciting. I've heard we've had a number of applicants. I won't say how many yet, but from my conversations with other staff workers, we're looking at a pretty exciting number. And I'm looking forward personally to being part of this program and to meeting the fellows that we eventually accept. Um,
Yes.
this is a fairly short episode, but I kind of always end with the same question. And then I'm gonna open it up, and we can have a little bit more of another chat, because I feel like I still haven't gotten to know you fully yet, Emma. But if there's one policymaker or one civil society figure that you admire, you try to emulate, and this policymaker could be dead or alive, who would that be?
I honestly, there are so many that come to mind. But I think right now, just with like what's currently happening in our country and different communities, Stacey Abrams would have to be at kind of the top of that list right now, just because all of the work that she's doing for civil rights, but then also voting rights and making sure and like fighting back against policies that are unjust and kind of speaking up for things that are not good, especially what's going on in her home state of Georgia. I would just love to sit down and have dinner with her and just talk to, like, how do you stay, motivated? How do you, find the courage to get up and do this and continually speak for other people in such a positive and empowering way that, isn't just limited to the people of Georgia who are immediately affected by her work, but people in Oklahoma or California or anywhere in the country that are seeing the positive, feedback from what she's doing, fighting back against unjust voter restrictions.
Absolutely, and she's been an inspirational figure across the country. One thing in particular that, as a member of Renew America Together, you gotta appreciate about her is that, without conceding at all in her values and the things that she believes, she still talks to people across the aisle, still reaches out, and despite not necessarily budging on her stances, her ability to talk to others is unfounded. It's incredible.
It's
Um,
very impressive. Yeah,
yeah,
role model for sure.
absolutely. That's a good pick. We've had some good ones in the past. So I that's all I got for this show. I'm just wondering if have any questions for me. Anything else you wanna say to the audience, say to the crowd before we wrap this up?
Apply to be the first class for Civility Leadership Institute. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm really looking forward to being on the other side and help run it. Just talking every Friday that we have in our meetings, just about everything that we're putting into it. It's going to be one heck of a program, and anyone who gets the opportunity to do it, they're going to be way better for it. I'm very excited for them.
Well, I'm excited too. Thank you very much for joining the show, Emma. It's been great chatting with you. We're really excited here for the success of the program as well as your continued work on bipartisanship. The application for CLI is linked in the description below, so feel free to send in an application and contribute to renewing America together. Stay tuned for coming episodes of A Crosstalk next month. Feel free to visit Renew America Together's website for more information about bipartisanship and healing American divisions, as well as doing research about disinformation campaigns and voter fraud. As always, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe for more bipartisan conversations. Thank you very much.